TVB.
Bradford Anderson, what is going on, man?
How are you, dude?
I'm hyped up, bro.
Dude, this is very exciting. So it's been
I'm
an
hyped.
exciting time on our show, and there's been some new young blood coming into it, and it's just I mean, like the kids say, it's been fire. Did they say that? I don't know. I don't know.
Don't ever talk like that again.
Okay, great. All right.
Ever.
Well, one of the reasons
Ever.
why is one of the new additions. People are loving him as Michael. We have Rory Gibson. Hey, dude.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Well,
Rory, what is going on?
wow.
This is where I take over the interview, Bradford.
Go
so
for
just,
it, dude.
you can just listen.
That's not one of my skills.
I know, I'm just kidding. Rory, what is going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just kind of taking it easy. Had a nice chill week. I was only in one day this week, so I've kind of just been kicking back, honestly. How about you guys? How you doing?
Well, what's that been like? Because I mean, they threw you into the fire. Like you, I mean, it's
Yeah.
been nonstop. Like, good for
Yeah.
you for taking a breather, dude.
Yeah, I like to work. I like to be busy, but this slower week has been pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
You get to catch up a little bit because you were thrown right in.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Well, we like to talk about, if you just want to give us a just kind of the Cliff Note version of where you grew up, how you got into acting, because I want to get to, Y&R and GH.
Oh yeah.
But
Where you
we always
from?
like to, we always like to give our viewers a little bit of a background because it seems like it seems like they like you right away, but the more they know you as a person, the more longer of a leash they give you when you piss them off on screen.
Oh, good.
Which
Good.
is inevitable. It's inevitable that we all do that. So
Yeah.
Gonna happen.
yeah.
Happened.
Gonna happen.
Yeah.
So was actually born in LA. I've been in California my entire life. I was born down in Long Beach area. And then mom moved up to Bakersfield when I was quite young. I think I was like 3 or 4. So then dad stayed down in San Pedro area. So grew up bouncing back and forth between SoCal and Central Cal.
Wow.
And then like was always obsessed with movies when I was a kid, but Bakersfield's kind of a rough and tumble place. It's not much of a flourishing kind of
Arts community.
It's
Yeah.
very sports oriented. And yeah, it kind of forces you to be tough growing up there.
And your
So
dad was a professional football player?
yeah, my dad played for the Niners for 2 years, and then he went to the USFL and he played for the Boston Breakers for a little bit there, and then got into professional kickboxing for a couple of
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
And then that all kind of just, petered out after a while, and he was trying to find out what he wanted to do after sports, and he became a longshoreman down in Long Beach. And he stayed.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that requires some strength, doesn't it? Or some.
he was a big dude, man. He was a big, strong boy. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So what got you your love of movies, but how did that transition into what age were you when you started kind of doing what commercials, plays,
No,
auditioning?
I was late. I've never done any theater. I've never been in a play. I really want to though, because it's like
Yeah.
the one thing in this medium that still kind of scares me.
Mm.
Like movies, TV, like I'll do it. Like I'm not nervous about it, but theater, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Um, so I had moved out of Bakersfield the week after high school graduation, just because I just had to get out.
You were done, bro.
Yep.
I was done, man. No shades to the people over there.
No,
I
no.
still visit quite often. I
Well,
love it there
if you're
now.
going back and forth between there and like Long
Yeah.
Beach, I mean, it's you know what's different about it, and you know where you want to be.
Yeah, and I've grown to appreciate my upbringing a lot more as
Sure.
I've gotten older,
For
and
sure.
so I have a lot of love for that town now, which I didn't have as I was growing up.
Well,
That's
it's the
normal,
same.
I think. Yeah.
It was the same when I grew up because I was in Cleveland, Ohio, which never got the greatest rap ever for a city. And then I would come to California. And I'm
Yeah,
like, hey, which one do I like better here?
big jump,
Probably
big jump.
California. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
But
but
so
yeah, go
moved down to Orange County, and I lived there for about a year, and I had to fill a credit, so I kind of got thrown into this theater class, and it was very kind of like makeshift, like just kind of a fun credit, but I liked it, and my teacher was like, "Hey, yeah, you might be able to do something with this." I was like, "There's no way," and my girlfriend at the time, fiance now, was living in Europe, and I was broke, just surfing every day, and
yeah, buddy.
she was like, "Hey, do you want to like come out to Europe and stay with me for the summer?" I was like, "Yeah, of course. I miss you." So she flew me out. We had like this big European vacation. It was incredible. And then at the end of it, she was like, "So are you gonna like go back to school?" And I was like, "I don't know what I want to do." She's like, "Well, if you could like do anything, what would you want?" I was like, "Man, I've always loved movies. I always thought acting could be like a cool thing. I just took this like theater thing, and my teacher thinks I might be able to do it." She's like, "Well, just try it." So while I was in Europe, me and her got an apartment together in LA that we were moving into. And I had to call my mom and dad, and I told them that I was dropping out of college to become an actor. And they were like,
Yes.
"What are you talking about?"
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you know." They're like, "You want to be like, you've never done this before." I was like, "I know, but I think it's kind of what I want to do." So, and I didn't have a game plan at all. I had no idea how to do anything. So I kind of just started asking around and got on Actors Access and started self-submitting and booked a couple of little indies by myself through that. And my manager found me through IMDb. And then from there, the rest is history. Just
Yeah.
started being an
Wow.
actor.
Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. I mean, that's
That's awesome, man.
that's pretty. We often talk about our industry as being kind of a an apprentice. People can come in that way. Like you find you learn by working, right? And
Yeah, that's kind of what my journey was like. Like I've never
yeah,
really taken classes before.
Yeah.
My manager is he was quite a good actor back in his day, and he's kind of the only one that's really steered me here and
That's
there of like
awesome.
how to go about it.
Well,
So,
it's
lots of,
worked.
oh, thanks, man.
I mean,
I
it's
hope
worked,
so.
honestly, and we could talk a little bit about the other jobs you got if you want to, Y&R. How'd that come about real quick? Because I really want to get to your screen test and talk about that whole process for you,
Yeah.
because I think that was pretty interesting. It was interesting for me too. And I want to be able, now I can share it. Now we can share
Yeah.
kind of the process of it. But so how long were you on Y&R?
So on one, I got on in 21, and then my last episode was early 23. So like just over 2 years. And yeah, that one just came around like any old audition. I was actually certain that I wasn't gonna get that job too. I was at my stepmom's and I got the request to put Noah on tape. And I was like, "Oh, dude, my manager's gonna kill me." Because Steve, we talked about this. I do Muay Thai and I had a
Yeah.
huge black eye.
oh gosh,
Black eye. And I was like, "He's gonna kill me, dude. Like this is gonna be bad." So I do the tape and they said like give us a little tidbit and like tell us something fun and like new going on in your life. I was like, "Well, I got this going on right here. Sorry about that. I guess I should learn to keep my hands up a little bit higher." And I guess they liked that enough to bring me in, but then they got back to me and they were like, "We don't really like what you did with the role." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And they were like, "But we're going to bring you back in. We want you to try it. Just like do it this way instead. Like the way you did it was not the way. Try it like this."
Okay.
right.
I was like,
Hey, at
"Okay."
least you're getting notes.
Well, I mean that
Yeah,
I was going to say a lot of times you don't get that second opportunity. Like, oh,
No.
he's not right for this. Versus being
yeah,
like he gave us the performance that he thought was right, but I bet if we give him instruction, he'll do it a different way. Oftentimes they
yeah.
don't have that kind of imagination. Oftentimes they're like, oh, well, he doesn't know what this is. He can't do it.
Well,
So
it's cool. So I credit Nancy and Greg over there for like having that too, because
Yeah,
at the
totally.
time I didn't really, just because I haven't really been doing this that long. I started in 2017, 18, and that was 2021. So I hadn't really experienced that yet, where they were like, "Hey, just make these adjustments, do this, do that." And I was just initially when they were giving me the feedback, I was like, "Oh, I'm not getting the job. You don't have to tear me down." But then they were like, "No, we want you to try it again." I was like, "Oh, okay." So they liked something about this then. And
sure,
then
yeah.
tried it again, and then they brought me in for the screen test, and I screen tested with Kate Fairbanks and our boy Josh Imaro.
There he is. Yep.
And did Josh save me in that screen test too? Because I actually dropped like my very first line, and then he saw it happen, and he turned around. He's like, "Sorry guys, that was me. I totally flubbed that one." He's like, "Rory, I'm so sorry. Can we take it again?" And he kind of gave me a
Oh,
little thing. I was like, "Oh, this
yeah.
guy's a
That
man."
that's nice.
That's
Good dude,
amazing.
good dude.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, then like literally left the CBS slot and didn't check my phone. And by the time I got home, I had like 5 missed calls from my agent, and they were like, "Hey, they gave it to you." I was like, "Oh, cool."
Hey,
That's
It was a
amazing.
good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's is that the longest job that you had?
That was the longest, and it was the first like big job that I'd
Big
ever
job,
had.
yeah.
Before that,
Yeah.
it was just like indies, man. Like
Yeah.
pretty small.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, were you kind of thrown into the fire over there like you have been here? Was it, or
Not
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 quite?
nearly as much. No.
Oh,
My character over there, and don't get me wrong, I had a lovely, lovely time over there. But my
oh,
character
sure.
over there was definitely much more of like a supporting role.
Sure.
So I came in during a big storyline, but it was never really like my storyline.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I kind of
Plus,
get
plus
ahead of.
over there, Brad, they don't have the dark weeks. We do dark weeks. So they're
Yeah.
doing 6 shows maybe in a week instead of
Right.
9 or 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if you did have,
It's just a little more peaceful.
it's a lot slower
Yeah.
how they operate, and um,
I
so
kind
then
of like how quick it moves, though. I like over here at GH, it brings like a nice energy to it. I feel like
yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Well,
like
you
it.
just got to be ready.
Yeah, yeah. It
And if
forces
you're
you
not,
to like,
then
move
you're
correct.
Yeah.
yeah, if you're not ready, then it's terrifying.
Yeah. So just tell us about the audition, how the audition came about for Michael.
So originally, I didn't audition for Michael at all. They sent out a tape request for Vaughn, who's the WSB agent
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that
Yeah.
works with Jocelyn,
Joss.
the
Yeah.
lead
Yep.
character.
Yep.
So I sent in a tape for that, and then they're like, "Yeah, cool, come in for a chemistry read." So I did a chem read with Eden,
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
and it was cool. I played him way, way different than Bryce is playing him. I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
this guy was supposed to be like super brooding and intense and scary.
It is daytime after all.
I know. So I just remember like doing the chem read, and Eden is just so like cool and laid back and like, hey, hey. And then I was like, I have to like try to like intimidate this girl. And then she just wasn't scared at all. She was
Which
just
is
like,
wonderful. Yeah.
so did that. And then after the chem read, I just remember Frank was sitting in his chair and he's looking at me like,
Hmm.
hmm. And I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I was just like, I either really messed this up or
Something's
did really good. And he's like kind of brainstorming. And then he was asking me about Y&R. He's like, "Oh yeah, you were over there for a little bit, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." He was like, "Cool, cool." He's like, I like what you did. I like this. Yeah, thanks for coming in." Like, all right, cool. Even if I don't get it, like
hey,
that was a
new
fun experience.
relationship. Great. Yeah.
And then like a week and a half passed,
Yeah.
and Mark Teschner reached out to my manager and was like, "Hey, they don't want him for Vaughn." And I was like, "All right, that's fine." They're like, they want him for this other character. And we're like, "Cool, what's the character?" I'm like, we can't tell you. Okay. They're like, it's a contract role though. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then they're like, the screen test is going to be in about a week. Can you make it happen? I was like, yeah, sure, sure. And that whole week, I was like badgering my manager, like, dude, you got to get something out of Mark. I need
Right.
some information. And
Yeah.
he was like, dude, trust me, I've tried. This is like,
This
they're
guy's
not letting anything loose.
No.
They're keeping this quiet, quiet, quiet. And I was like, dang. So I just have to like try to figure out who this guy is strictly from the sides.
And who are
Uh,
the? Can we talk about what the side? Who the sides were with?
Yeah. So
this first
originally,
one was with, because my screen test with you was my second one.
yeah.
My first one was with Kate Manzi and Katie McMullen.
Oh, so that was an actual screen test.
Yeah, yeah, that
Wow.
was the first real screen test.
Wow.
And
And you
then
were, and it was just you, or do they have other guys too?
No, they have
no,
other
it was
guys.
me and three other dudes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, three other dudes. So we all went in and did that one, and it was a great time. And dude, both those ladies are incredible.
Yeah.
And Katie even came to my room that I got thrown in and was like running lines with me because she's like, I just want to make sure like everything works out. And I was like, oh, people over here are really nice.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah. It's a good group.
So did that one, and it was cool, and it felt good. And then like a week and a half passed, didn't hear anything. So I was like, all right, this one is probably
Yeah.
not happening. And then sure enough, they hit us up and they were like, we're gonna bring him in for one more screen test. And I was kind of surprised because I was like, oh, usually it's only the one, and then you kind of get to go.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I did with you, Steve, you and Laura.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was interesting because I think there was you and maybe 4 or 5 other guys for this one. And originally it was supposed to be a screen test with Carly and Sonny.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Maurice had a long week.
Mhm.
that week, and that especially that day.
Yeah, he was
And
stacked.
I was literally walking out the door, and they're like, "Hey,
Hey.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah, yeah, literally. What,
that.
dude? This is what was crazy. They're like, "Hey, we need a favor. Can you sub for Mo for the screen test?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." Like, all right, come up and get the sides. I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, they handed me the sides. I'm reading them, and literally, I walked in to the first, because you rehearse it first in Frank's office, Brad.
Oh, cool.
So
With
he'll give you,
Frank?
yeah, with
Yeah.
Frank there, they'll give you the blocking right there.
Oh,
Um,
because he directs it,
he
right?
directs it, right? So literally I'm walking in reading it for the almost the first time with the first guy who is going to screen test.
And where do they put the other guys to wait now? Is it in the intern's office? Where is it?
It was in
Uh,
Steve. So when you're like walking in, there's Steve's office and then right into Frank's office.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. In the
So
waiting
we were
room?
all just sitting in Steve's office,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
then Stevie B, you come in,
yeah.
yeah,
and then Laura comes in,
yeah.
and then you could hear everything going on
I
there
know, dude.
too.
You
Right.
can
I was
hear
gonna
it.
say that's a pretty thin wall. Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
worst.
Yeah.
That's, by the way, that's the worst thing ever. That's a
Yeah.
yeah.
horrible thing to do to
Oh.
actors. But anyway, so that was it. So I got the sides. I'm going in and I'm having to memorize. I'm trying to memorize this as
Sure.
I'm working it out for these guys to be there for them,
Yeah.
and then they all block, and then we go down and we start the screen test pretty quickly after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just interesting I haven't screen tested with people in a long time.
What do they do it? Does it? Do they care what set they do it in?
No, they don't care what set. It was whatever set was up, whatever is easiest, and very,
Yeah.
very, very minimal blocking.
Yeah.
Usually you don't want to give people, so I mean,
No.
I didn't know who Rory was. I didn't know he was on Wine. I didn't know anything about
Sure.
any of these guys,
Of
right?
course.
But obviously they could have given him blocking and he would have been able to do it.
Right.
But other guys, it's not that simple, dude. We know that. Like,
Right.
you don't want to give somebody 5 crosses in a 3-page scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they
And
kept it pretty.
lots of props.
They kept it pretty simple. Out of all the guys, I mean, if you were looking for a recast for coloring, Rory's not the color of blonde hair, blue eyes, light hair of Michael. And usually when you're recasting, you go that direction.
Mhm.
And there was one guy who was really good.
Yeah, I remember him.
There was one guy who was really, really solid, but there was something special about you.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know what I mean? Do you remember what I said to you after?
I do. I do. It's funny. I didn't know if you were going to remember that or not.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I went home and I told my fiance about that like immediately. I was like, that dude was like so cool afterwards. And so we did the whole shebang, and then you came up to me, and I remember like you were like, "Hey man, I just want to let you know, like whatever happens, you're a really, really fine actor. You did like an incredible job. You should be really proud of yourself. And just keep on like getting after it." I was like, "Dude, thank you so much." Because
I mean,
screen testing is such a nerve-wracking thing. So
For
getting
sure.
that kind of
yeah,
reassurance,
you couldn't tell, like, you have such a calm about you. And I think a lot of that could be attributed to, I don't know. And you could tell me, I mean, when people are trying to kick your face off, you're not going to be really, you're going to be a little more calm under pressure than the average person.
I think that helps. I think it
You know what I
helps.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you had this thing about you in the screen test. Like, you were just so, I go, who is this guy? He's had to, and then we worked for the first time. So you got the job, right? And how long after that screen test, by the way? Because I would just want to jump ahead.
Dude, not long, not
Sure.
long. Well, because the casting process of it was pretty long. So they had like an idea that they wanted to do this for a while, but they were like, "Oh, do we do it yet? Do we not do it yet?"
Yeah.
So then after our screen test, I started working exactly a week later.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
1 week turnaround. I was shocked. I was like,
So
"Whoa,
at that point, I
we're
didn't know, I heard you got the job, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then we started working. We had some scenes together, a decent run of scenes together, with just you and I out on the terrace.
Yeah, that first week, me and you had quite a few together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, and I still didn't ask any questions. I didn't Google you. Like, I didn't do, like, I should have. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, there's no way this guy has not worked.
Fresh
were
off the street. Yeah.
yeah, there's just not there's not even a I was like, he
Yeah.
just is too calm. Like with 4 cameras here and like, this block, he's just too calm. Something happened. I go, and then I asked somebody, I'm like, did this dude work somewhere before? And they're like, yeah, he was on YNR. I go, oh, that's why, that's why he's so calm, So, but man, you're just killing it.
Thanks,
Like
man.
you really are. Like you're really
You
just,
remember what I told you
you're just,
our first day when we actually started working together?
yeah, you're about Cloud Strife.
Yeah. Have you heard this story yet, Bradford?
No,
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 go for it, yeah.
I working with this guy for as long as I've heard plenty about Cloud Strife, but no,
Go
tell
So,
me.
ahead.
so we go into the second screen test, the one that I ended up doing with Laura. And at first I thought I was doing it with Mo and Laura. And then Mark comes up and he's just like, hey, Mo was actually super busy today. So you're actually going to be reading with Steve instead. And not to sound like a little fanboy or anything, but for like a split second, I was like, oh, nice. Because one, I've seen yours and Mo's face on like my mom's television screen my whole
Yeah,
life, actually, because
yeah,
they were big GH fans.
yeah.
But Final Fantasy VII is my favorite video game of all time. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with it. Like it's the best. That
That's
Kingdom
amazing.
Hearts, like I'm all in.
That's
And
Yeah.
amazing.
I knew that Steve voiced Cloud.
Right.
I was like, oh, dude, it's gonna be
Oh,
sick. I'm such a fan of that character that I
yeah.
named one of my dogs Cloud. My
That's
dog's
amazing.
name is Cloud. So then on
That
our
is
day of work,
that is
I'm
so
like,
cool.
do I
He was
tell
like,
him?
I just got to tell you this. I got to tell you
Dude, I
this.
have to tell you. I'm
Uh,
like, sorry, this is weird. I
that is
named
so
the dog
cool.
after you.
That's amazing.
Fun.
Hey, I'll
Yeah.
take it. I'll take it, man. It's
Yeah.
it's awesome to have. It's awesome to have you. You're killing it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. I
So
appreciate
I mean like going from YNR going to our show, like how do you are you starting to think about how to manage your time and your mental health and like so when you're not at work, like what things keep you going? Obviously you have your martial arts and stuff. Is that how big?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that definitely helps. And Steve, we've talked about this too. Like I feel a dire need for just extreme physical exertion at all times. Like if I don't get it, it's just the mind starts getting cloudy. I start
Mm.
getting grumpy. I try to pride myself on being like a calm, nice person. But dude, it like I could feel if I don't get it out, I feel it kind of
It,
coming up.
it's
So
like a cage. It's like an animal in a cage.
yeah, man.
That's what I was trying to explain to somebody. Like it's just a crazy feeling. You just got to go.
Yeah, like I have to do it.
Yeah.
So I love exercising. I love martial arts, doing all that. And then outside of that, I mean, just my lady and my dogs,
Yeah.
honestly. Like my Alicia, my fiance, is just one of, if not the best person anyone could ever meet. She's
Yeah.
beautiful, she's kind, she's just so easy to be around. Hopefully you guys get to meet her soon.
Yeah. I can't wait.
You guys met in high school, so it's been a while.
Yeah, we've been together for 14 years.
I
Wow,
mean,
dude.
dude, just what you were saying when she was in Europe, like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, where do you want to
Yeah.
go in life? What's going like to have a partner be asking those nice questions?
Yeah,
Going,
I definitely wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this if it
yeah,
wasn't for her.
that's a
I don't
beautiful
think
thing, man. What?
she's kind of really, garnered a lot of ambition for me. And I don't know what I'd be doing
That's
if it
amazing,
wasn't
man.
for her.
That's a huge blessing.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, she's made it
Cool.
easy. She's the best.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge so far, whether just a general challenge of being on the show or specific to your character or uh,
The
scenes
biggest
that have aired or whatever?
That's a tough one. The biggest challenge is I think because I try not to look too much at older episodes because I know Chad did like an incredible job and
Sure.
he was there for so long. Um, but at the same time, I've seen people come in and try to replicate things before, and it never
Yeah.
works that way. You can't do it because only that person can do what that person can do.
For
Yeah.
So
sure.
you have to put your own unique spin on it and stuff. So trying to hold on to some truth with the source material, not making it too jarring of a transition because he was there for so long. so there was a little bit of that, but then also I looked at the whole, the explosion and coming back from Germany kind of as like a rebirth scenario of like
Yeah.
I have to come back different. Like
Yeah.
life keeps happening to me.
Yeah.
So I kind of came in with the intention of like, I just want this dude to be like a tough son of a gun. I don't want him to take any kind of, are we allowed to cuss on here?
Sure.
Yeah. You can't. We'll
Take
cut
any
it.
kind of from
Yeah.
anyone.
Right.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
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 So I came in
Yeah.
with, kind of a chip on the shoulder, but then balancing that out with still being this tender, loving family man to a
Yeah.
degree. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. It's
that's been the trickiest thing, finding the kind of balance between those two.
and you'll continue to find it,
Mm.
right? You'll continue to find it because trying to emulate anybody is always a bad idea.
Yeah.
And Chad did an amazing job. And I think it kind of set up for you to come back with such a gap where he was off. And
Mm.
then Michael's coming back, from something tragic and you get to come back. But the interesting thing I think is when someone comes in, it's the questions about the relationships that you have
Mm.
with me, with Sonny, with
Yeah.
Carly, with what was my relationship with Willow and all these things. And you can get it consciously and go, "Oh yeah, Jason, kind of raised me and he's my guy, whatever and blah blah blah." But until we start working together, like really working together
Yeah.
over time, and that's why I think and when I said you're going to figure it out more because your relationship with each of us is going to deepen off camera and on camera. And that's the beauty about what we talk about on being on a show for so long is like Mo and I work together so much off camera, it translated onto camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And instantly when we get together, it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what the beautiful thing about soap operas are.
For
It's
sure.
like with Bradford and I worked together every day for 8 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like
it just garners that kind of
it
like,
just garners that,
Yeah.
and you're very open and you want to work hard and all those other attributes that you have.
Yeah.
It's only going to raise the level of the game, whoever you're working with,
Well,
and we got people who want to work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I got really lucky too. One of my best friends, Jenna, she is like a diehard GH fan. So she was kind of my sounding board. It was funny because as I was like asking her these questions, so I was like, "Oh, so Jason's my uncle," and she's like, "Jason's not really your uncle." What do you mean? She's like, "He's basically your dad." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she kind of gave me the whole rundown.
That's
Which
amazing. Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah, which was really, really helpful because then it changed, like it completely changed how I came into our scenes together.
Yes.
Where I
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
oh, so this is like my guy. Like this
Yeah.
is my guy. Like
Yeah.
I have, like we got to be tight, 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 tight.
Yeah.
Well, but I think one of the things that has gone in your favor is that with the like paternity thing, you could really focus on like the why, like I want these kids back with me. Like so you you don't have to focus so much as long as you have a strong point of view about that.
Yeah,
The character stuff, the color, like the shades of character, all those things that we build over years will come, and you have something interesting to play already. You have such a strong point of view that the character, like the viewers are going to like forgive a little bit if like the character parts of it aren't as fleshed out because they see how much you care about what you want. And so I think that's a nice way to start because like if you're thinking about the other stuff instead of your intention, you're like then you can get really off track. If you start about point of view and what he really cares about, the other stuff will come.
well, and it made coming into such a consequential like part of the story too. It was easy to see where each relationship was and how it had developed, just simply based off the conversations that were being had.
Yeah.
Just based off, Jason being like, dude, I got your back. We'll get you and the kids the hell out of here if we need to. If you don't win this, like we'll figure everything out. So it's like simply having this huge goal that I'm like going towards and seeing how everyone around me was either like helping me get there or pulling me back to it. That was
That's
definitely
interesting.
a
Yeah.
good old like guiding point to where I was with everyone else.
Totally.
Yeah.
So are you on social media? Have you been following along with, like, do you pay attention to any of that? Or did you learn on
I
YNR not to do that?
I learned on YNR not to do that
Good.
because when I got on YNR, again, I had a lovely time there, but I was recast over there too.
Yeah.
And there was some resistance that
Of course.
like
Yeah.
not everyone was super stoked. So I was anticipating an even greater resistance with this one. So I was like, all right, man, like you're having a good time, but buckle up. You're about to get some hate thrown your way. And I'm only on Instagram. I don't have like Twitter or
Sure.
Yeah.
TikTok or anything like that. But I have friends and family who are on there, and then they started sending me stuff, and I wouldn't look at it. I'd be like, guys, don't send me this. I can't look at this. I can't look at this.
They're only sending you positive stuff, though, in theory, right?
Well, I would hope so. Yeah.
Or just like, this is really funny what this person said about
Yeah.
you.
And then, so I was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it because I don't want to be too like self-involved either. And
Right.
but
Well, and the
then
worst thing that can happen is that you read something that makes you second guess something you've done, and then
yeah,
you're dead.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then they kept sending it, and they're like, you should really look at some of this because they knew like what happened over at YNR and how like it was
I
kind
see.
of bumpy at first. So I was like, all right. So I started checking it out. Dude, I was overwhelmed by like the love. Everyone is so kind to me, and it's
Yeah, it's
I
amazing.
was so appreciative of it. It was so cool and
Yeah.
unexpected.
Yeah. Well, number one, you're doing a great job, but also I think, um, Chad did a nice job of explaining why he was leaving.
Mhm.
And, sometimes when the situation is different, like if someone gets fired and
Yeah.
immediately is replaced by somebody, that can be a tougher position for the recast, right?
Oh yeah.
So I
Sure.
think,
Yeah.
a good amount of time has passed. He was very clear about needing something different in his life. And it was so clear storyline wise that there was a vacancy, that there needed to be a Michael. And so I think, the combination of those factors and the fact that you're doing an incredible job has led to a lot of goodwill and a lot of like just good stuff. So,
Yeah, it's been cool. It's been really, really nice.
That's
yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's been so great to talk
Yeah,
and
thanks,
get
brother.
to know you. And I'm not sure when Michael and Spinelli will cross paths, but I hope it's soon.
I hope we get a major storyline.
Major front burner,
let's calm down, bro. Let's calm down. Let's just wait a second.
Nelly and Michael take down Drew.
There you go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
This is the
go.
combo.
Hey, I'm trying to get scenes with my buddy over there. Okay, first, let me get scenes with him.
Oh, amazing, man.
All right, Rory.
Well, continued success, man. And
See you next week.
all
Yeah,
right.
see you guys next week.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
sounds good.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, thanks, dude. You're awesome, man.
Later.